InShalla and Ashe. For a second there, I thought I was going to be a little delayed. However, as I move things around, there I is. Hang on, I found out I could do one cool thing. So I'm going to do that. Bingo. There I am. I can view myself live so I can chat. Okay, awesome. I'm kind of got two screens going on. It's just kind of how I function. I'm kind of probably appear all over the place. But anyway, blessings to you, everyone. Tonya D here, holistic medium and subtle energy surgeon. Absolutely 100%. Thanks for sharing the Sturgeon Blue Moon meditation. I hope you all enjoyed that. It was simply my pleasure to actually create that. I do those actually twice a month. And also a shout out to all of you that have subscribed to my web letter and also my YouTube channel, ringing the bell for all the alerts and hitting the like. It creates, it echoes out that algorithm. And I 100% appreciate that as well. But today's cosmic energy is one of giving things that no longer resonate with us an eviction notice. More on that a little bit later. But the elemental energies, we have the Yin Water Gwai day with a rabbit on the branch. And we have all of these elementals actually online. We have like those heavenly stems. We have hidden water in the branches. You know, and it really doesn't take much fire to warm up a chart. But elementally, you know, who do you feel called to actually ground into today? If I was to look at this person, you know, they stand alone, meaning that they're maybe an only child. So I would actually ground into water today. Water is a form of many things. It's fluid. It can take on the shape of whatever it flows into in a way. It can be absorbed into the soil, you know, and then, you know, unless we get too much, you know, we've had some great rainstorms here. If we get too much, it will flood over, obviously, and it can simmer a fire or turn into steam, you know, with the fire. It can take a shape into a form of our voice through semantics. It can flow through the stems of nature to feed it or also and to nurture it. So the spirit of water is actually our willpower. So this person or a day like today, we could take their willpower to manifest ideas that actually are innovative in a sense, whether it's through divining or healing or communicating and even transporting. So transportation is kind of a metaphysical word as well, in a metaphysical world. So we can really transport our messages and really echo them out into the universe, the galactic grid. So, you know, I think like prayer and intentions and different kinds of spiritual messages can actually elevate through all of the elemental realms. It's just seeing through with new eyes or hearing through the images and whatnot. It's just kind of a shift in the perspective of reality where we can always change form at any given moment. You know, if you're not happy with your reality, it's time to evict the things that no longer actually belong in it. So a cosmic cleanse of all of the things that disrupt your force field, all of them. So as we actually enter the season of the body, which is actually Virgo is actually the season of the body. Let me just recalibrate over here because I look like I'm frozen. And I am, but that's okay. But Virgo is the body. It's the single mom. So, you know, if you're a single mom out there, toot your own horn, you know. I know I'm one, so I need to toot my own horn. But it's the season of healing. It's reorganizing our physical reality. And it's like, what? Yes, you heard me. So we have, you know, all of us have a Virgo season somewhere in our awareness. So you too will be healing an area of your physical reality and your beingness. So what is that? Like all things, you know, it's an energy, which everything is an energy, a vibration, a frequency, right? We all have this. But this energy is one of the forces behind our cells that make up our body and actually our health, our beingness. So this energy is in matter. So for me, you know, I work on the body, energy on matter through light is the body. It's the physical body. Along with the natural environment, the forces of fate, our gravity. It's like this gravitational pull to be along with the miracle of reality in incarnation. So, do you ever wonder how many lifetimes that you've actually incarnated? I know I have more than once. So, we have this pull to become something different than we have actually ever become before this time, or even in this particular lifetime, or maybe both. So when we get these feelings that are kind of quaking us to our bones, or the feeling of fear inside of us or something, I just did a divination yesterday, and living in a fear is a task, but authentically, there's magic on the other side of fear when we let it go, when we let it get in the flow. It dissipates. It no longer, it shifts. It's like and it's instant most of the time. Plus, I sense also that those are actually other lifetimes or timelines that were already in play, but they're not in this reality for today. We've already lived out those moments. So they kind of come up kind of just to splash at us, and ultimately we can dissipate them. So the season of Virgo is actually one of the earth signs. It's what we would call or initiate as reality. It's the physical reflection, our body, of what our soul is actually in solid form. And it interacts and falls under the powers of cause and effect. So it's our expression inside of us, the innate expression of the law of attraction that's actually in the action in our physical beingness, our physical form. So ultimately, whatever we are being moment to moment is actually what will come. So if you are being unkind to yourself, then unkindness will come or be in your reality. It's perspective. So you want to ask yourself, what are you being right now? And that's what actually ultimately ends up becoming real. It will materialize in the school of earth, on the earth plane, our journey here. So with that said, for the season of Virgo, what is it that you have become over this last year? I always cycle through every year. I have forever. I believe our new year starts on our birthday, or maybe a month or two before. That's actually when we need to reevaluate our goals and reassimilate a new story of what we want our new year to be. That's kind of how I see that. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't worry about it. But that's kind of how I see. And just observe from your own personal observation station. When you feel called as you are observing it. So this is the season of reorganizing, regenerating, recalibrating, and holistically, or, I should say organically, transform ourselves into beings that are something else in our reality. Something that our heart actually yearns for to be next. So it's this magical part of the galactic universe. It's our core processor in our grid that allows us to follow a new thread to transform or break into something new, split the line, whatever, recalibrate a new one. So it's like coming out of the shell, being that which is created within us to kind of shed light on the new being that actually resides within us. So it's a process, right? So for myself, I would look in the mirror and reflect into the mirror myself what it is that I really want to become in my outer self, in my day-to-day world. So whatever it is inside in that reflection can literally emanate and come outside to really play. So it's this calibration that we see the physicalness of our desires that are actually emanating from our heart space, our true authentic desires. So it really is a time to recalibrate our body, our health, and our physique. So the body of ourselves is that container of Virgo. That's the energy of it. And we all have Virgo, like I said, somewhere. So if you don't like the skin you're in, that recalibration time is like right now. So this is the time in the galactic universe, the grid, to heal, to release any discomfort, any dis-ease, shift your diet, exercise, recalibrate your sleep routine. So our body, our body can morph. I talk about body morphology a little bit in one of my gifts in my corridor, the elementals. But our body is our physical record of our soul's energy and how our body morphs in our reality. So it can actually morph in a variety of ways. For me, it's our own personal physical alert system. Um, if you're overweight, that's an alert system to your body and your frequency. Probably the affirmations that you say to yourself when you look in the mirror, and you can shift the affirmation to like tweak the morphing in a way, because thoughts do become things, right? And so do feelings. So within our personal physical alert system, it's like the frequency and the vibration. So when we have a disruption in our soul, then it manifests as the issues. Those issues could be, maybe you do need a divination because your body's on alert and your feelings are like you need an assistant. That's kind of what I do. So feelings, it could be sickness in our bodies, acute or chronic, it varies based on our cosmology. So it's time really to fine tune all of our spiritual intentions and also our body, which our body is our physical reflection of our world, our corridor. So if you're not loving the skin you're in, it really is the season to recalibrate. The balance of being was actually designed with this in mind. So, do you need assistance in upgrading your nutrition quotient? Do you need to recalibrate your sleep? Do you need to create the exercise routine? You really want to map it out on the daily 2 times a week. That's kind of what I do. I mean, I need to upcycle mine back to 4 myself. And also my nutrition quotient has taken a dive. I'm not going to lie. I'm not at all immune to any of these things that I'm actually sharing with you, by the way. It's just time to get the elf off the shelf and really restart this process. And also remember, it's baby steps. So a little will take you a longer way in the beginning. So what I would actually recommend for you today is if you are ready to recalibrate, like your body's been sending you those alert signals, if you're ready to recalibrate your reflection in your personal mirror, create some boundaries, some personal boundaries, and focus on your health quotient. And observe in your observation station, that's where you take time and space, the condition of your body, of your inner health. Establish, where do your boundaries, like where are they? Where do you keep your being safe? And more importantly, healthy. So you want to keep your vibration high and higher. That's what upcycling the quotient is. So it's the time of the year where we take a look at our image, our behaviors, and our personality in our beingness, and change for the long haul out into the starry grid of the year till the next Virgo season. So it's an aspect of our personality that we end up manifesting and becoming, and that's what actually people see. So if you can today start a new plan, a new way to upcycle your personal boundaries on, how you behave, those are those powers of cause and effect. It's like this, because if I eat healthy, the effect on my body is, right? Because I exercise, the effect on my body is. So it's time to really change the rules about when you act or you don't act in different situations. Take the time for a pause and reflect. I talk about this aspect actually in the Energy Body Demystified. If you're in that course, then you're probably at that hyper awareness of that stage, and you can utilize it to actually assist you on a day like today. So it really is time to protect your body, your vessel. In your mind's eye, you can think about the person, a mentor or something like that your heart believes in becoming. Do you want to become a rock star? Well, who is that rock star? What is that person that you want to emanate at their frequency? Now, this is a courageous feat, mind you. So I like to sit and muse about who it is that I actually admire. And sometimes my heart will actually sabotage that person. who you can't become that, or you don't have this, or, we have these self-sabotaging narratives. And it's just a hurdle we have to get over. It's like challenging the fear. So those kinds of thoughts really literally need to be like swept away, like in Practical Magic, when they sweep away the dude after they remove him from the sister. All the little witches are in there sweeping away all that cosmic clutter, That's actually the cleanse of the cosmic narrative that we actually should be doing. So it's like clothes that no longer fit our beingness that we actually save. So it's time to really let those go. And, I'm in a wiser body right now. So now all the wild stuff that I used to wear, and I have some pretty wild stuff, mind you, it might not seem appropriate for myself today, but I do go out on occasion and I do wear them anyway because I like the feeling and the frequency, of that expression in that time and space. So with that, we kind of need a definition of what the boundaries are kind of within ourselves in order to ultimately initiate, frequenting and becoming the vision that we want to become in our future within ourselves. So we're kind of defining those unseen lines in a way. So you want to ask yourself, are you determined to upcycle your health in your body, in your energy field, your frequency of your health, that quotient in your nutrition? So you get in your personal observation station and notice in your daily life the different aspects in your health arena that are literally out of bounds. You might have a circle that is disfigured or just unhealthy to your beingness. So it could be anything, even in your environment. So do you need to cleanse your office and upcycle your frequency there? If you work at home, I know my desk right in front of me here, it needs some cleansing. You can even ask my sweet little assistant, Amber. She probably is like musing all the time how I need to clean this off. And my mom actually had us cleanse our rooms every spring and every fall. And now I know why. It's out with the old and the refreshing of the new. So you might have limits in mind, but notice that you don't follow your own guidelines, monkey say, monkey do, or walking the talk. So it's really highly possible that one of these life aspects is actually spilling over the cup into another aspect of your life. I talk about those two chalices. So it's pouring over in another aspect in your corridor, How is your work? How is your rest? Is your work getting in the way of your rest? So, you have to kind of determine the boundaries that are safer for you. So I no longer need to work past 6 p.m. That's a boundary. I no longer take clients on Wednesday. That's a boundary. So we're in this frequency to thrive. And I would actually remove the word survive from your vocabulary. Like, that's one of the words I don't subscribe to. I feel like it's a lower frequency vibration. So I like to say I'm thriving inside and out. Just being hyper aware of our boundaries, of giving space to the pause, a breath to the time in reality. So these frequencies always exist. But today it's just this awareness it's a hyper field, it's hyperspace into the forces of just being hyper aware, really. So it's like when you know something is out of place, like I always know I'm hyper aware. And even though I have clutter, I know where everything is. That's my awareness field. So you can literally feel that the force of something is missing. So how can you redesign the fishing line for thriving? So it's really time to find your ultimate joy in all seriousness. And our throat center is actually online today. It's the ability to utilize our voice and sense into the awareness of, do I feel I belong here? Or does this feel like it belongs there? The color black, which I'm wearing, is 100% online. It's my personal favorite color. Black stones. I have some black stones in my divination spread. They're sacred in there with their meanings. The shamanic portal is also open, and it's also hyper aware as well. And I talk about the portal in both Change Your Stars and Secrets of the Other World. So there's like silvers and there's grays. Those would also be great color for today. And you might feel kind of vulnerable today. So I would absolutely 100% validate the feelings that are coming through and make decisions. When you're making the decisions, you want to balance in your love space and your relationships in general, not just your love space, but all relationships in general. You're going to have more positivity in the karmic field out into the world and even for humanity. The seed sound for the day is hum. It's actually heem. So we have, when we chant this, it's going to recalibrate our self-expression of how we see ourselves in reflection in the mirror. It's the heem and sleep. So if you're the ease and the sleep, go ahead and check the show notes. But it's interesting when I see the words, it's spelled like ham, H-A-M, but it's the heem in it. So if you can hold that note, it'll actually clear up your throat center, your spiritual voice could come out. And again, I would chant it at least 4 times, if not more, and really burst out all the cosmic clutter that no longer thrives inside of you. And Metatron is an archangel. He's online for the entire season of Virgo. So if you are ready to develop your spiritual acumen, I would call on him to actually recalibrate the being that resides within you, moving us beyond those limitations of being human. That's like the rules of man or the laws of man, where you can call in, that's kind of what we get stuck in, that narrative. That's why I don't watch the news, right? It's brainwashing, whatever. But another cool thing he does is he speeds up our time, or he slows down our time. And it's funny, as you go through space and time, each year, each season of life, when you're little, time feels so slow. But when you're older, time seems so fast. So he actually came to me, his presence, his energy, Metatron, in March, I believe. And I utilized the Merkaba for healing the cosmic threads with his assistance. And no one really does the shift alone. That's just my opinion. We all have a round table somewhere, right? But the Merkaba itself is composed of 3 separate words. The Mer means light, the Ka means spirit, and the Ba means body. So we are of light, we are of spirit, we are of body. And hopefully we have a sound mind. So for this season of Virgo, just kind of allow yourself to be assisted with Metatron for a cleansing of cosmic clutter with a Merkaba. Just allow the Merkaba to spin. It usually comes in different colors for me. Just kind of tune into that and feel what comes in for you. Like if it's yellow, that's my solar plexus, needs some cleansing. I see silver, I see white. It just depends who I'm working on. So it's different colors for every body. The card of the day, which I'm super excited about. This comes from actually, I think it is the first tarot deck that I actually ever purchased years ago. I loved the spirituality of it. It felt spiritual to me. Spiritual as far as like more illuminated, otherworldly, kind of effervescent. I really believe that it fell off the shelf at the store. But today I pulled the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is our creativity in the excitement. It's the adventure within a challenge to actually motivate us to move forward with both our courage and our confidence. So as this wand gets plugged into the ground, it reminds me of the staff that I have in my Shamans Oracle deck, or even the staff or wand from Lord of the Rings, Gandalf. He's got that wonderful wizard staff. But this wand, it gets plugged into the ground and it's like steady. It doesn't move. It's what do I want to say? It's foundation. So from there, it kind of spreads out this light from the crystal. So, like most reactions, when, a flint of stones collides in a pile of dust and so on, it's also, it's inspiration that originates from the light, the sound of the light. And the spirits, I don't know if you can see them, there's spirits there, there's goblins. You can see they're kind of leaving their home space. And they're kind of hiding in the shape of normal light in just different spots. I'm not sure if you can see that on the image. And then what happens is they're kind of escaping from those different leaves and the boulders, and they're out even into the sky. So it's like the unseen world in a way. And then we have this flash of lightning where, and then within the flash of lightning, that's where those challenges begin actually to be revealed, like we start seeing them. So the invitations are spread everywhere at the dawn. And once they're being set, and we just had this fabulous full moon, fire becomes unstable and it becomes unpredictable. Sometimes it becomes out of control. And the source of the energy, it's unrestrained, it explodes. It can turn into wildfire in this frantic chaos kind of way. So, it's time to take a wild opportunity and shine on this intense fire, the sun. So these animals are the spirits and the guardians of the wand, of the fox. There's a cat and there's a lion. I actually had a fox come to me years ago. I used to have telepathic conversations with this fox when I was way young, in my youth. So I love that I pulled this card with these foxes. I'm not going to lie there. It brought back that memory. But they're brilliant with their light, their wisdom. And, they're also dashing like an arrow, like just flying through the world. They have these fiery flames. They're fierce. They're a powerful spirit, a powerful totem. So some key words that are actually related to the Ace of Wands, those are words like energy and inspiration, optimism, even invention, innovation, trust, having willpower, fertilization in a way, like you have to fertilize your egg, creativity, it's even growth and motivation, could be a new project, a new business. It's the power of the fire element. So we have these new experiences and these new ideas, and it's like this birth of a new start, or turning what it is, your ambition is, into an action. So apparently, or obviously, the message this card is carrying is this mass creativity. It's like this fullness of being creative. So it's just being like assured that what you're doing right now is actually going to have a greater impact and also a breakthrough. So it's more about, work actually. So this would kind of imply that we're having a breakthrough in whatever we're working on, or your ideas actually have value. So it's also, it's shedding light on just exciting new starts, or birthing through, just being thrilled to experience things that actually you're passionate about, that light you up. They're your fire. So interesting stuff that makes you excited to actually learn through, right? Then sometimes, the interest kind of disappears, it dissipates, and you fall into situations that are difficult and they're hard to continue on, with, your pleasureness might have dissipated. So you might have to do it over without any significant results. I know I've done that. I've changed my story plenty of times just in the last year and a half. So it's actually, this is one of the boldest cards in this particular deck. It's the creativity that I'm sharing isn't the creativity learning from books. This creativity comes from using your voice, which is also the center that's online today. So we're working, it's a way of working where your will is full of enthusiasm, will actually create the land, the reality of where you can develop yourself in a more comprehensive, understanding kind of way. So I think we should take advantage of all of the energy that we currently own in our village, our garden, and it goes right into alignment of our throat center again. So it's the voice of creativity. Now, I also used my Doreen Virtue Archangel Raphael healing deck. I kind of felt called to that. I know she has some bad juju happening. I think this is the card. Actually, that's that one. Hang on one second. It's this one. Okay, cool. So I kind of have a hard time pulling her cards sometimes just because of her narrative changed. But this card, I went with a deck because we're in the season of Virgo. It was the healing card deck. So this is just a call to action of finding alternative medicine from conventional stuff. If you're going through some kind of protocol, I guess is what I want to say, kind of research different methods or even options for healing, that you can call in Raphael and just intuitively get the right direction on what way to go. It really is kind of a time to seek different opinions, maybe, or an alternative approach or a position, or maybe even learn a new practice in just alternative healing methods, not just for yourself, but for others as well. But do some research, listen to what you're called into. If you are on a healing path, I would call in Raphael, maybe research, again, alternative medicines, different doctors even. There's actually a prayer on the card. It actually says, Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for guiding me to the ideal healing treatment modality and for giving me clear signs and messages to validate the best path through my well-being. So I sense this card for being at the beginning stages of Virgo. It's really time to seek out different ways of medicine. Listen to your intuitive knowingness to give you the direction which way to go. If you are in a treatment or a protocol of some kind, definitely seek a second opinion, or, tune in, maybe learn, again, like I said, just different healing methods. There are a variety of ways that we can heal ourselves just by tuning into the frequency. So I thought this was pretty funny that I pulled this card for today, alternative medicine on the first day of the season of Virgo. We're talking about our body. Some affirmations to get you on your way. It's I am safe, I am sound, I am aware of my personal limits, or I am free to choose my own personal boundaries, freedom. And also, I kind of forgot to mention that the moon from yesterday might have carried over a full moon hangover. The moon is in Pisces right now. Pisces is our faith. It's spiritual. It's like having one foot in two worlds. So really hold the faith. Faith is a feeling. So you have to trust in it. Holding faith, I feel like, brings peace. So feel into your beingness and hold space as you begin your own cosmic cleanse and release with faith. Have trust in your beingness, and ultimately, while we're in the season of Virgo, tune in and listen to the frequency of your body and adjust those things that need adjusting, and give yourself some higher frequency vibrational boundaries against foods that you shouldn't be eating. That would be me. Exercise, I need to upcycle, do 2 more days. So it's stuff like that, just baby steps into what it is that you want to shift in your daily bodiness, in your beingness, because it's physical. The body is physical. It is reality. We do manifest in it and outside of it. So with all of that, as always, InShalla, Ashe. Let me make sure I can do this. Wrong one. Just kidding. Blessings to you.